So for this project here, you're going to learn about positive space and negative space. What you're going to do is you're going to grab one of these printouts here. You're going to take it over to the tracer. You're going to copy all 16 squares here. So 4, 8, 12, and 16. You're going to copy all 16 squares here. You could use a ruler when you're over on the tracers to kind of get these straight edges. And in each of those squares, this is what's going to end up looking like. In each of those squares, you're going to put a letter of your name. So you're going to do your first name, your middle name, or your last name. You could start with your first name, and each letter is going to be rotated, flipped, or kind of skewed a little bit. But the trick is that each letter of your name should not fit perfectly within each square. You should also think about rotating each letter, maybe flipping the letter itself completely, but you want to be able to kind of even scale up some of these letters as well. So for this first letter, it's M for Mr., and then R for the second part of Mr. there, and then the first letter of my last name, which is the letter R. So it's the same letter, but I rotated them. Okay, so and I've also scaled it up a little bit more here, but you can still tell it's the letter R. It's the top of the letter R here, but I've scaled it up. Okay, so let's go over to the tracer and let's go ahead and trace each of these squares here. Okay, so if you're ready to trace these squares, go on over to the tracer, grab a blank sheet of paper. You can also bring a ruler with you to kind of help you draw in some of these straighter lines here for these squares. You don't have to just try to freehand it. So you would grab a blank sheet of paper, those 16 squares on that printout. You would go on the tracer, turn it on all the way, use your ruler, and kind of line it up with some of these edges here, and then also have a pencil with you, and you would just kind of follow the edges of the ruler. You would skip these gaps here, and you would keep going. And that'll kind of help you draw some of these squares a lot quicker, a lot faster, so that you could use it for one of your projects. Okay, so once you have these lines that go in this direction, you could rotate your paper and draw the lines in the other direction. So let's say I have all these lines drawn in. Alright, so I have all these lines here that go vertical, and I could rotate my paper. I could leave my tracer there if I like. Keep using my ruler, line up my ruler with those edges. Line up my ruler, and then draw the lines the other way. Alright, and that kind of helps me draw these lines a little bit quicker, a little bit faster, and a little bit more accurate. Line up your marks with the ruler. Okay. And let's just say I have all my lines drawn in. So you would draw all those squares on the tracer, draw all 16, and then you could go ahead and use it for one of your projects or for one of your assignments. So once you have all those squares drawn in, again, you would put each letter of your name in each of these boxes here. And so again, we're learning about positive space and negative space. And so we could say that anything black is positive space and anything white is negative space. Or you could look at it the other way around. So for this project, we could think about black as in positive space. So anything that's maybe raised up or that's lifted, and anything that is white is negative space, maybe anything that we carve out. So when we're doing this, what I want you to do is, let's say that we have the background that's black, and then the letters are white. On this next square here, I want you to do the opposite. So I have the letter R here. So inside of the letter R, I would make it black. Since this letter was white, I'm going to make this letter black. So you're going to keep alternating. So if this letter is white, this will be black. This letter would be white. This letter will be black. And you keep doing that and repeating that process throughout this whole sheet of paper. So you would color this all in. And again, you want to alternate. So if this letter was white, this letter would be black. And again, when you're doing this project, I want you to scale up your letters. And when I say scale up, I'm talking about making the letters bigger. Okay. You can also scale some of these letters so much, or you could exaggerate some of these letters so much that you could just have a portion of the letter missing, right? So you could scale them up so much, but you could still tell which letter it is, right? So this is MR for Mr. And if you do your first name, middle name, and last name, and you still have some boxes available, you could throw some numbers in there. But you want to do the same thing. You want to rotate each letter. You want to scale them up. You could flip them. You could use a different typography, a different font, right? So some of the style on some of these letters here are all pretty similar. So you could have some thinner letters. You can have different styles of letters. You could do some cursive, different types of handwriting. Right, so this letter was white, this letter is black. And then you would come back with, first you would do all of these in pencil, then I would give you a permanent marker, and then you would fill them in. So do them with pencil first, I'll give you a marker, and then you fill them in with a marker. Okay, so if you have any questions, go ahead and let me know. Thank you for watching the video. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and turn on notifications. And feel free to watch any of the other related videos.